We'll go right back down and we'll clear space here. Hey everybody, we're very excited to bring you this week's class from our awesome new studio in Texas. We're going to be jumping right into a warm-up today, doing some upper body stuff. We've got some static stuff for you today, and then our lesson today is going to be grounded combatives. So combatives from when you've fallen on the ground, you've been forced to do a break fall, something of that nature, and we've got some good stuff for you there. So we're going to get right into the warm-up. We're going to do 5, 5, and 5 push-ups. So we're going to do 5 push-ups, diamond push-ups with the hands super close together, 5 push-ups that are about regular right underneath your shoulders, and then 5 super wide push-ups. We're going to get started on that now. There's no time on it, so just take as much time as you need. Gentlemen, 5, 5, and 5. Ready, and go. Take your time, focus on keeping your back straight, not letting your head dangle down, don't want to hurt your neck, anything like that. Next thing we're going to do is going to be hip circles. We're going to switch our stance, bring our knee up, and circle. We're going to do that for 30 seconds. Alrighty, so I'm going to be in my self-defense stance. I'm going to take my back foot towards my front foot, come up and over, and then we're going to switch every time. 30 seconds. Ready, and go. Already 10 seconds down, 20 more to go. Five seconds, let's finish strong. And time. Okay, next exercise is squat jump. So when I do a squat jump, I want to make sure that my feet are about shoulders width apart, toes pointed slightly out, keeping the back straight. We're going to squat all the way down until the legs are about parallel with the mat, so I can bring my hands forward for balance, and then we're just going to jump just a little bit off the ground with each repetition. We're going to do this for 30 seconds as well. Ready, and go. Squatting down, just jumping up off the ground just a little bit. Halfway there, 15 seconds. Power through for the last 5 seconds. And time. Very nice. Okay, so we can do a quick break fall. We're actually going to do a static V today. So it's kind of like V-ups, V sit-ups, but we're just going to be holding the V in the upright position. So gentlemen, if you could go ahead and do a break fall for me, please. Very nice. All right, so we're going to get up to the V. We're going to try to keep this steady for 30 seconds, paying special attention to your breathing. Make sure you have good regular breathing. Ready, and go. You can have your hands just wherever's comfortable for you. You can practice keeping them up, keeping your balance like Dustin's doing here. However you want to do it, just keep those feet off the ground. Keep them together. Just squeezing your abs. Already halfway done. Peaceful meditation time. And time. Very nice, very nice. Let's go ahead and stand all the way up. So this way we can get a couple more repetitions of break falls in. That's why we're standing up correctly, and then we can fall down correctly. So now we're going to do our leg lifts today. So one of the positions that we're going to cover in our lesson is going to be the side ground position. So just like this. So we're going to get on one elbow, keeping the legs all the way straight, and I'm kind of blading my foot like I'm doing a side kick. I can balance on the mat in front of me, but I'm just going to bring them straight up and straight down, just in a smooth, controlled motion. We're going to do that for 15 seconds on one leg and 15 seconds on the other leg. So let's go ahead and practice one more break fall. Make sure you got, there we go. Alrighty, so we're going to get started with leg lifts. 30 seconds, ready, and go. Slow and controlled. You don't have to do, 1,000 repetitions in 30 seconds or anything. Just trying to keep a good steady pace. Only have 5 more seconds on this leg. And time. Other side, quickly. Straight back after it. Very good. 5 more seconds on this leg, and we're going to stay on the ground. And time. Okay, so now we're going to practice bridging. So we're doing this obviously for the exercise, but as far as grounded combatives and ground fighting is concerned, this is also a very, very important and strong motion of the human body. So if Dustin is laying down on his back, he's going to make sure that his feet are nice and close to himself, specifically the balls of the feet, so that way his bridge is as tall as possible and he's engaging all the proper muscle groups. So we're going to do, each repetition is actually going to be 3 movements. So we're going to do one that's just a bridge, so you're just going to bridge his hips up off the mat, and notice that his hands are up. He's maintaining a frame, which is very, very important at all times. And then on the second one, he's going to bridge and go over one shoulder, reaching with the opposite side hand. And then on the third one, he's going to do the same thing on the other side. So that's 3 movements, but that counts as 1 repetition. We're just going to get a reasonable amount of those in 30 seconds. So we're going to go straight up and then over, reaching with the opposite side arm, and then over, reaching with the opposite side arm. We're going to do this for 30 seconds. Ready and go. 1, reaching and reaching. Very nice. Might be a little bit hard to see, but they're doing a great job of leaving their shoulders down, so that way they're actually rolling over their trap. They're not putting a lot of pressure onto the actual shoulder itself, but rather leaving that joint down and out of the way. Always a good thing to focus on. 5 seconds, guys, and we're just going to do a little bit of stretching. And time. Let's go ahead and do a tactical stand-up. So now we're just going to get stretched out. Make sure that when you're stretching, it should feel like stretching. If it hurts, you're hurting yourself. We're just going to keep a good straight back. We're going to have the feet a little bit outside of a squat, a little bit outside of shoulders width. We're just going to squat down. You can grab your feet for balance. You can place your hands on the mat. If you're a yoga person, you can put them here and then push out on the inside of your thighs. But the key is to just make sure you feel a nice solid stretch. Now we're going to balance ourselves with our hands on the mat. Let's reach out with one leg and just squat down on that. So the other leg is outstretched. Heels on the mat or on the floor, toes pointed up at the ceiling. And we're just going to slowly come over to the other side. Maintaining a good straight back. Now working on some mobility, we'll just very slowly go side to side. And time. Very good. Okay, so we're going to launch straight into our first lesson today. We need to, in order to effectively cover ground fighting, we need to review a couple things. Something that we've already done in our warm-up is the tactical stand-up or the tactical get-up. So if for whatever reason I've fallen on the ground, it's very, very important to understand how to stand up properly while making space, all that good stuff. So if Dustin was my attacker, most people get up with their hands on the floor like this. Obviously, I would eat a knee or a hook or something bad. So I always want to have something in between him and myself. And when it's safe and when it's possible, I'm going to get up so that I'm in a stance, or I want to be clearing space as I get up as well. So reviewing that is very, very important. That's something that you can't possibly practice too much. You want to get to where that feels very, very smooth and natural. The most common mistake that I see on that is that people with the opposite side foot and hand on the mat, they put them in a line like they're on a balance beam. So when you get up, you're going to feel very off balance. You want to make sure that your opposite side hand and foot are nice and wide. Your abdominal muscles stay tight. You're protecting yourself with your hand in front of your face. You're coming up and getting back just like this. So just to do a quick review drill, we're going to go over the difference between standing up in base or doing the tactical get up, which I just did, and clearing space as we do that. So when I clear space, I'm going to take my front foot, shove backwards so that my foot goes back where my hand is. So rather than just standing up here, I'm actually going to shoot it back so I can make space as I get up. Okay? So we're just going to do a quick review drill where we go 1 all the way up, and we'll go right back down, and we'll clear space here. Okay? We're going to do that for just a few seconds just to review a little bit. So standing up in base and then making space. Very nice. Shooting back. Boom, just like that. Very good. Standing up into a stance. Awesome. Shooting back. So that foot that's out in front of you, digging the ball of the foot into the ground and shoving back, trying to get it all the way back to where your hand is. Nice. And time. So, as always, I encourage you, if we do anything in these lessons and it just really feels bad, I would always encourage you to pause and then go over that, get some extra repetitions in. You don't want to move on if that still feels shaky to you. So, that's the review, and now we're going to do something that we haven't necessarily, a lot of you haven't seen before, and that's the stand to run, okay? So, if I was in a position where, you know, I've got one guy attacking me, I tripped over, whatever the case might be, and he's in my way, I have to deal with him in order to, you know, disengage and leave the situation. That is what it is. But if he has, you know, 3 or 4 of his friends with him, whatever the case might be, then I probably don't want to try to stand up and fight with both of them or all 4 of them or whatever the case might be. So rather than standing up and being here, or even making space while still facing them, I'm going to do what we call a stand to run. And so I've got opposite side hand and foot. I'm in my defensive position just like with a stand and base, but I'm just going to take my foot that's flat on the mat. I'm going to cross it over so that way when I put some pressure on it, I'm already turning around and I can get away quickly. So we're running away, but we're staying safe, which is obviously super important, one of the main things that we want to do in Krav Maga. So rather than here, I'm just going to cross my foot that's flat on the mat over. So that way when I come up, I'm in like a runner stance, I can take off running. Okay? So that's something that obviously we want to be smooth and skilled at, so we're going to practice that a few times. Just go at your own pace. Yes, very nice. If you wanted to be super hardcore, you could go do a sprint, but we're not going to do that today. Crossing over and run. Very good. So if you notice, they're crossing their feet over right at about their knee of the leg that's straight. The way we can be nice and smooth and controlled the whole time. Couple more reps and we're going to move on. Very nice, and time. Okay, so now going over the side ground position. This is something that I just kind of naturally do as I'm talking about these positions, but we do want to make sure that everybody understands how to get here properly. So in Krav Maga and in real life self-defense, we don't want to grapple with somebody in a street altercation, if at all, you know, possible to avoid. So I want to get up, I want to disengage, get away from him as quickly as possible. If I find myself on my back because he pushed me down or because I tripped over something, I'm always going to maintain a frame. I'm ready for him to try to engage with me. But if there's any space at all and I want to start thinking about getting up or thinking about getting away, I'm going to go here. So you can call this whatever you want, side ground position. I'm just comfortably on my elbow. I've got my foot on the ground. From here, I'm still able to protect myself, so I still have a limb and a limb on the same side to push, stomp, you know, make space, whatever the case might be. When I'm not doing that, I can use this foot to move myself around. I can spin around, making sure that I keep my feet in between my face and my attacker. And then of course I can do my stand to run, my stand and base or tactical get up at any time that I want to. It's also important to understand that from here I have the short tactical get up as well. So rather than coming all the way up hand and foot, it's just elbow and knee, you know, if the situation calls for it.